Welcome back, students. So in this lecture, we will get into large language models. So with the invention of attention and transformers, we got into large language model. So what is an LLM? Language models are not new. So they are pre-existing before the era of transformers. So in the domain of natural language processing, language models were common. So what is a large language model? A model which has very high parameter is called as a large language model. Size of the model describes it as a large language model. So if the size is in billions, so then it may be called as a large language model. Even small language models even today are available in the size of below 10 billion. You can take Llama, Mistral, small models like 7 billion models, 2 billion models, 1 billion models are available now. So a large language model is in essence a very high parameter model. So it is how it works is it works based on next token prediction. So it is a decoder based model which works based on predominantly a decoder based model which works based on next token prediction. So it can be used for multiple purposes like writing, reasoning, text summarization, etc. So whatever models we are seeing now, Claude, ChatGPT or Gemini, under the hood they are large language models. So limitations are hallucination, prompt dependency, etc. So we see each one by one. So as I said, it is based on the transformer architecture. It is trained on massive text data. So it is trained on thousands of books or Wikipedia corpus like that. Whatever information is available in the internet, it can be used or will be used to train these large language models. Because if you are training a model which is having billions of parameters, then you need such large corpus of data so that it does not overfit on the training data. So for that, you need a huge corpus of data with huge variance. So that's a major need for these models. They are very data hungry models. So what they do is based on the training and based on the token prediction, a pattern matching, they predict the next token. So that's the main essence of these models. They are next token predictors. So why we should care about as engineers large language models is that they can assist in decision making. They can automate documentation. So documentation is a major hurdle in any company. So most of the time, the employees spend their work is on documenting because documentation is a very important process where each and every step is carefully documented. So with the help of these large language models, documentation can be simplified. So reports can be consolidated easily. So how from transformer to large language models came. So then there is a base transformer which was introduced around 2017, I think. So attention is all you need. Then we do the pre-training process. So the training process, so far in machine learning, we will be calling the training as a training. But here it is called as pre-training because once training is completed, the model cannot be deployed directly. It has to undergo some other steps in the process. For example, it will undergo alignment, model alignment. Every large language model will go through model alignment, and then if needed, it will go to instruction tuning, fine tuning, then prompt tuning. So multiple steps are needed in order to get a emergent LLM. So base training alone will not be sufficient for large language models. So on top of it, you have to do some other training too. Hence, the training process is called as a pre-training process. So we discussed this already. What is a token is? Token can be in simple terms said as a word, but it is much more complicated than that. A simple word will have multiple ambiguity. So for example, beauty and beautiful, both imply the same meaning. But if you take each word as a different token, then beauty implies something else, beautiful implies something else. So what they do is they split the words into sub words like this. For example, top, range. So like this, three tokens can be split. So this depends upon the training strategy adopted. So there are different types of tokenization strategies. So based on the model training strategies, this will change. So then what we keep hearing is context windows. So context window is nothing but the number of tokens a model can see at once. So this includes the system tokens, the previous interactions. So sometimes when you interact with ChatGPT or any other LLM, after some time you may feel that the first conversation which you had with it may have forgotten, because that is the context window limitation. So developers would limit the text of context window to reduce the memory size. So those are major considerations in a large language model. So this is a simple introduction to large language model. So one difference I would like to say is LLM is not a database. So we easily assume that it will retrieve information from its training and it will give to us. So that is not the case. What it does is it calculates. Basically what it does is it calculates what the next token will be. So there is a huge array of matrix multiplication which is going under the hood. So it is not a retrieval process, it is actually a calculation process. So with this we will stop this lecture and we will continue further about the large language model in the next lecture. Thank you.